Hello, dog lovers. Dog training weekly live session at Saro Dog Training. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a member and a viewer of the show, welcome back. Thank you for being here. I'm trying a new time on a Friday to see if I'm going to be getting more European viewers as well. In this live video, we're going to talk about dogs. I'm going to answer all your dog related questions. So feel free to ask your dog related questions in the chat area and I will answer them right away. We're just going to wait a few minutes to see if everybody's coming in. But before we get to the questions, I wanted to talk about um, a concept, the idea of why most dog owners have dogs with behavioral issues, and basically what is it the reason that causes your dog to have behavioral issue. uh, so I'll talk about that in a moment. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel as well, hit the bell icon as well to get notified as soon as I go live or I post my next video. And also, tomorrow I'm going to be posting a new video that I'm going to be teaching you how to teach a trick to your dog without the use of treats or clickers or anything else. So that would be interesting. So let's get started and talk about what is the main reason that causes your dog to have behavioral issue. So I have a chart here and I have a graph here you can see. So the root cause of all problems in your dog has to do with three things: anxiety or stress, boredom, and an untrained dog. So we'll talk about these three things in details. And as you know, I talk about this a lot, anxiety and stress. Stress is the main cause of the reason that your dog has behavioral issues. And there are many reasons why can um, a dog get stressed and what causes dogs to get stressed. And the other two reasons, the boredom and untrained, they are also contributing to the stress level of the dog. If a dog is bored, they get stressed. If you're bored, you get stressed too, right? And the dogs get stressed, and that causes them to have a lot more anxiety. An untrained dog also has has the ability to become stressed or anxious because they don't know what they are supposed to do. So I'll talk about the details a little bit more, but the main cause of the reason your dog has stress is anxiety. And I'll keep this on the side here so I can refer to that randomly. So the main cause of the behavioral issues that is helping your dog to have, whether you have a puppy or a dog, it's stress. So what is the main cause of stress? There are many reasons that can cause your dog to have stress. uh, you know Stress is the result of everything that happens or doesn't happen to your dog or your puppy that becomes a stress. Now, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about stress a little bit more in a moment, but boredom is other reason why puppies and dogs have behavioral issues. So, why is it that, for example, your puppy chews on your arms and your legs? Why is it that your puppy is digging a hole? Why is it that your dog is barking at other dogs? Why is it that your dog is um, chewing on your furniture? These are because your dog is bored. if a dog is bored, they come up with ideas and ways to um, make themselves, right, to make themselves to not be bored. So they entertain themselves with those activities. Now those activities in like digging and barking and chewing, from dog's point of view, it's not a bad behavior, it's not a bad idea. But when it, from the human point of view, it's a bad idea. From dog's point of view, it's a great idea. It's a great solution to solve the boredom problem. So your dog keeps doing that behavior, repeats that behavior until you are not creating an environment that is bored, is allows the dog to get bored. So until you haven't created an environment and situation and condition that your dog is not bored, your dog is going to behave that way. And in my opinion, most of the reason why dogs do those behaviors repeatedly is to tell you, let you know that they are bored, they need help. And if you don't listen to them, and if you keep ignoring it, your dog is going to keep doing it, repeating it until you get the idea, to the point that you get upset and frustrated, and then you start dealing with it. So most dog owners, they wait until their dog is driving them crazy or gets to that point, that boiling point that the dog is has got to that level that is uncontrollable and unmanageable and super stressed and anxious, and then try to deal with it. So boredom is because you're not providing enough and proper amount of exercise and stimulation, both mental and physical stimulation for your dog. So you want to provide both forms of physical and mental stimulation. I highly suggest you to provide 70% mental stimulation and 30% physical stimulation. Most dog owners, what they do, they provide the opposite. They provide 70 to 100% physical stimulation and just 30% mental stimulation. So you want to make sure that you're not creating in a situation or environment that your dog gets bored. So focus on providing mental and physical stimulation, like walking your dog, playing, allowing your dog to play with you and your other dogs or other dogs in the neighborhood, going to the dog parks. Um, Training is a good mental stimulation training. If you, especially if you use my training method, which is play and praise reward system, you're not only physically stimulating your dog, but you're playing and you're mentally stimulating them, plus you're training them. So boredom is the other reason why your dog is having problem, behavioral issue. Now untrained, the next thing is untrained, right? If you have an untrained dog, you're going to have a dog who's going to have behavioral issues. What does training or untrained mean? Training is basically investing some time every day, maybe every other day, for a certain time, let's say 6 weeks, 6 months, or a year. You train your dog continuously, especially if you have a puppy, if you have a new dog, if you have a young dog. You want to continuously train your puppy or dog so it becomes a trained dog. Kids go to school for, people in general, they go to school for 12 years, right? Um, Dogs, they need at least the elementary school, the beginning. You gotta start training your dog from the first stage of their life. either they're when they are puppies or when they are young. You have to start training your dog. If you don't train them, you're going to have a dog who's going to have behavioral issues, because a trained dog doesn't know how to communicate with you, doesn't know that you are communicating to it. And when you don't train them, your dog becomes more stressed because can't communicate with you or to you. When you train your dog, you start teaching your dog basic obedience. Let's say sit, stay calm, and all that. These are simple tricks, simple commands that you can teach your dog, but you can use them in many ways to communicate to your dog. And you can teach your dog uh, the same commands in different levels to the point that your dog can tolerate different situations, different stressful, maybe even situations and conditions better, just by training your dog. So training should start from very young age. You have to dedicate and invest time and effort to train your dog, at least for the first 6 months, for at least first year of your dog, at least 1 or 2 or 3 days a week. And you have to go through this process of spending 15 minutes, half an hour at a time, at a day, 2, 3 times a week, to train your dog. You have to physically do it. If you have to get involved, you can't just ignore it. You can't just expect that things are going to go away, things are going to get better just by letting your puppy or your dog grow up and get over it. Things don't get better, things get worse. An untrained dog will have a lot of behavioral issues because it can't talk to you. It can't physically, they can't have a sit down and chat with you and say, this is what is bothering me. They can't solve problems if they are not trained. When you train them, when you work with them, everything else, it magically becomes easier for them to solve, easier for them to uh, deal with them, easier for them to learn how to not get stressed because of that thing that is happening, whatever it is. Let's say if your dog is having is pulling on the leash, is because it's stressed. So let's dig in this behavior, pulling on the leash. It's because it's stressed, because whatever it is, the people or the dogs or the object that is out there is causing your dog to get stressed because it's been bored sitting home and thinking about things, hasn't had an opportunity to release his mental and physical stimulation, get stimulated, so it's bored, and you haven't trained your dog, so therefore your dog is getting more and more stressed, doesn't know how to deal with the problem of uh, meeting or seeing other dogs and people, so it gets more and more stressed. And if you train your dog, if you start working on your dog from day one, your dog is going to be trained. It's not going to be bored because you're providing physical and mental stimulation, and it's going to be able to distress itself and figure out how to solve that problem of seeing other dogs or other people. So therefore, it's going to have less stress. So it's all related. So this is the formula why your dog is having behavioral issues, why your dog is driving you crazy, because you are not training your dog. So it's the perfect time now to start investing and training your dog. If you want to learn more about how to train your dog, visit my website, sarodogtraining.com, and get started. Invest in training your dog. Don't provide boredom for your dog. Do something. You can't just wait for things to go away. Um, I adopted a puppy a few months ago, and she's a star now. She's perfect. Just because I decided to train her, I've been training her almost every day. I do something with her, uh, whether if it's a minor form of training or it's a major form of training. I do something with her. Uh, I use play and praise to reward her and train her, and therefore now her behavior is she's much more calmer, relaxed. Not only she's calmer and relaxed as a puppy, 6 months old puppy, she's also very responsive. She's very also very responsible too. She doesn't want to cause problems. She doesn't want to make me get angry or stressed because she does everything properly. That's the results you get. So last week I excuse me, last week I posted a video of me showing you that I what I get after training my puppy for 2 months. Just 2 months, and you can see what I get, the results that I get. Imagine if I continue for a few more months. She's going to be perfect though. I'm not going to be bothered with correcting her, dealing with her. She's going to be angel. That's the benefits of training your dog. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully you're going to take action today and get inspired and start training your dog and learning what you need to do exactly. So let's get started on the questions and the comments in the chat area. And I will be talking about this topic a little bit more during the live session today. Deal Z. My cousin is getting a Rottweiler Boxer cross. Any advice? Thanks. Uh, you know, I'm not sure if it's a puppy or adult border Rottweiler that your cousin is getting, but in general, Rotties are perfect dogs. They're great dogs. Um, in the media a few years ago, they were portrayed as aggressive dogs, but they're very fun, timid dogs. Actually, they're very timid, shy dogs. They are very trainable, very easy to train and teach them whatever you want to teach. Um, they are social breeds, not as social as, let's say, Golden Retriever, but they are social. They are a little bit sensitive, timid dogs. That can cause them to be a little bit fearful and reactive because they're timid. So I would be careful about that part of their characteristics. So you want to make sure that you train them so they're not bored, right? So they're not getting stressed and anxious because of their sensitivity, because they're sensitive breeds. Um, so so you can get them to have high confidence level. So therefore they're not going to be timid, therefore not going to be reactive and be aggressive. So that would be my tip on Roddy Cross that your cousin is getting. But I'm not sure if it's a puppy or adult. Puppies are easier, obviously. Ethan, I don't understand, but thank you for being. What can stress my shit? Oh, I see. Okay, you typed it in different stages. Ethan Grata is asking, what can stress my Shih Tzu? Okay, good question. Yes. So as I was talking in the beginning of the show, stress is number one reason why dogs have behavioral issues and what causes stress in dogs. There are many things that can cause a Shih Tzu or any dog or any breed get stressed. Some of them is that you literally share a lot of affection with your dog. Yes, It's kind of weird to say this, and it's kind of weird for you probably to hear it, but many dog owners, they don't realize that affection. So this is the formula that I usually talk about. Uh, a dog's daily needs are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. Affection is the last thing a dog needs. It's not as important as we think it is. Dogs are social animals. They're social with humans as well, very social with humans. That's why we breed them and we design them and have them. So because we want them to be affectionate and loving with us. So because they are loving animals, but that doesn't mean that we need to share affection 24/7. Affection should be shared, first of all, as a reward. What I mean by that is, instead of you giving your dog treats or food as a reward, for a reward, let's say if your dog is sitting and you give treats or food, you can share affection instead of food or treats. You tell your dog, good boy, good girl, yes, oh my goodness, you're such a star. Just doing that and saying that, it's the biggest reward for a dog. So first of all, you can use affection as a reward. And second of all, you need to provide your puppy or your dog exercise, training, socialization, and then care. If you provide all these, then you share affection, right? So you, as a from dog's point of view, if you don't provide a proper amount of exercise, you don't do daily training with your dog, and you don't provide daily socialization for your dog, and you don't provide proper care, and then you share affection, your dog is going to become an unbalanced dog that has a lot of stress because you're not providing the proper amount of exercise, you're not providing training, you're not providing socialization, and on top of that, you're sharing affection. When you share affection at the wrong time, at the wrong state of mind, you're actually encouraging that stressful behavior, stressful state of mind, and anxious mind. You're encouraging and you're rewarding that state of mind. You're saying, even though you are stressed, I'm going to share affection with you. Even though you're unhappy, I'm going to share affection with you. So, affection is the last thing that you need to provide for your dog. And from a human point of view, you have to share affection when you, as a dog owner, have provided daily exercise, training, socialization, and care. And then, as a human being, you can say, you know what, I've done all these. Now I'm going to share affection with my dog or my puppy. And if you do that way as well, your dog is going to say, or your puppy is going to say, my owner has given me proper amount of exercise. We've done some training today and we're doing socialization as well, practice socialization, proper care. Now I'm ready to get affection. Now I'm get ready to be share to have affection shared with me. So your question was, what can cause your Shih Tzu to get stressed? Is if you don't provide your Shih Tzus daily five essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. And if you don't share them in this order, and if you don't share them properly, good amount of exercise, good amount of training, your dog is going to get stressed. Good question. Elizabeth Caruso, thank you for being here. Hi, Sarah. There is a live feed from France for VE Day, right? So you may have less viewers. Also, Trump to speak from USA. Oh, I didn't know these things. Uh, but it's okay. It's good to learn this and practice this time. But there are lots of questions and lots of viewers at the moment, which is good. Saber Dog is not watching the V-Day celebrations and also is not watching Donald Trump. which is great, and is in the live show. Thank you for being here, and good morning. Teresa is saying good morning as well. Thank you for being here, everybody. Crazy Jesse, my beagle is howling always. How to stop it? My neighbors are complaining to me. Please guide me. Howling, beagles usually don't howl. They bay. What you're hearing is a baying, and that is a natural trait of a beagle. They do that because we, as as humans, we have bred them to do that. We have designed them and bred them to bay because we wanted them to notify us where the prey was. They're not hunters. Beagles are not hunters. They do some part of the hunting, like they don't kill the prey. They just let the chase, and they find it, and they start baying to let the hunter know that where the prey is, right? So they don't kill it, but they bay and let just everybody know that it's there. So that is a trait that a beagle has. So if it's doing that all the time, that means your beagle is in working mode, right? So is it needs a little bit or a different form of mental and physical stimulation. So the reason it's happening is, for your case, is a boredom, and also probably untrained too. So uh, boredom is causing your beagle to bay because you haven't trained it, you haven't provided enough stimulation, so it's getting anxious as well. So is it making sense now? Let me know in the comments area, in the chat area, if this formula is making sense now. We're going to go through the questionnaires, and I'm going to answer the questions, and you're going to see the relationship between this formula and your problem. So your beagle, for instance, is stressed because it's bored, and you haven't trained your beagle, so therefore it's baying, it's barking, it's howling. So provide physical and mental stimulation. What are those? Training, walking your dog. I can share a video in the chat area that you can watch and get some ideas of what you need to do. So I'm going to call it stimulation. Okay, stimulation. The video would be called stimulation, and I want you to go ahead and watch that in the chat area and get some ideas. Crazy Jesse is in the house. No, I same question. Okay, posted the same question. Poi is in the house. How long will my 3-month beagle takes teething? He keeps biting everything, even though he has chew toy. More power, Mr. Saro. Thank you for the feedback. Usually, beagles take up to 5 months, I would say. My puppy, Annie, she's 6 months old. She's not teething now, but she likes to chew still. She's 6 months old, but she stopped teething for between 4 and 5 months. So each dog and each breed and each individual dog, it depends on their growth cycle. Basically, what is happening is that they're teething. What that means is they're replacing the puppy teeth with adult teeth. So it depends on how fast they're growing, what are you're feeding them. Depending on what you feed, the growth slows down or gets faster, speeds up. So it depends on each individual. So I would say another 2 months to your beagle. Give another 2 months. But meanwhile, if you want to help your beagle to not get too annoyed with teething, and you don't want you yourself to get annoyed, is start training. Don't let your puppy get bored and get stressed. Most of the time when puppies start chewing and biting things, it's because of stress that they're getting from their gums. It bothers them because they're bored. They are thinking about their gums, and because they are not trained, they get worse and worse. So it becomes a way for them to release that stress on the chew toys or your hands or arms or feet or shoes or whatever. So don't let your puppy get bored. Provide mental, physical stimulation daily, and you'll see that behavior is going to slowly fade out. Um, Great question. Elizabeth Curso, is it still necessary to take my 10-month-old mini poodle, Timmy, out immediately after meals like I did when he was a much younger pup? It's so great you're on twice a week. Oh, great. Thank you. Great. Thank you for the feedback. Yes, I'm testing this and I'm trying this to go twice a week to see how it's going to work out. And I love talking about dogs and helping you dog lovers. My goal is to help you to become an educated dog lover. Now, to answer your question, a 10-month-old mini poodle, you don't have to take it right away, but what you need to see is uh, what is happening with your puppy's digestion system. It depends. Some puppies and dogs, they digest faster than the others. They need to go faster, sooner than the others. So what I would suggest you to do is um, take a paper, right? Take a paper, just pretend this is a paper. Just take a paper and write down, the first pee in the morning and the first poo in the morning. So pee, poo, right? What time happened the pee? What time happened the poo? Just for the next, you keep writing down throughout the day what time they're peeing, what time they're pooping, and do that for. Sorry, microphone. I hit the microphone, and do that for, let's say, uh, 3 days, just to have an idea of, let's say, what time your puppy needs to go poop. So if you're marking them, you're going to see um, a routine that your puppy is pooping around, let's say, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then the next one is at 1 p.m. and the next one is at 7 p.m. So if you see that it's around that time, then you have an idea, okay, this is the time that I should take my puppy out to do its business. But for first 3 days, you want to kind of take notes and mark down the times that it's going to happen and it's happening, and then you have a better idea of what time to take. You don't have to take your dog every hour, every time, especially if as they're growing up, their digestive system changes and their metabolism is changes also, and also they start to be able to manage and control their bladder, and bladder gets bigger too. Great question. Little Herrings, thank you, sir, from England, UK. We've been using your videos to train our new Labrador puppy. That is great. Thank you all the way from UK for being here. At what age could I stop taking my pup out in the night for a toilet? She's 11 weeks old and I'm taking her out once in the middle of the night. That's a good idea. This is, again, it all depends on each dog's bladder control and digestion and all that. But I would still suggest if you could sacrifice and get up in the middle of the night and take it outside, try it. If it's still happening at night, if your puppy is still going at night, then you continue. If you see that it stops, then it means that you need to figure out You need to allow it to do it before going to sleep. One of the, again, best ideas that you can use and take advantage is just for the next 3 days, again, take a note of what time they're doing their business. Pee at what time, poo at what time, and then just make a record of their activities for the next 3 days, and then based on that, figure out the best time to take your puppy out, maybe before sleep, and then hopefully the puppy is going to sleep throughout the night. And I hope you're keeping your puppy in a crate, sleeps in the crate, and in your bedroom. That would be a better idea as well. Trish, hi, Saro. My Beagle is always stealing things in sight and gets aggressive when you try to take things off her. So another great example of why this behavior happens. Here's a clue. So the reason your Beagle is doing that, it's because of boredom. So another way of your Beagle to entertain itself is to steal things. That he is it he or she? I can't tell. But your Beagle has come up with this idea that here's how I'm going to entertain myself. I'm going to steal things, and I don't think it's aggressive. It's just a play, right? So if you don't provide good amount of physical and mental stimulation, including play with other dogs, playing with other Beagles or dogs or puppies, or you playing with it and training it, they will get stressed and anxious, and they will behave such as this example, right? So I will provide more mental, physical stimulation. So you're replacing this unwanted behavior with some other good wanted behaviors. When you remove an opportunity for a dog to behave and do some unwanted behavior, your Beagle will get relaxed and calmer. Therefore, is not going to look for ways to entertain itself. So it will be more relaxed. So provide daily exercise, proper exercise, training, socialization, mental, physical stimulation. So that you can replace this unwanted behavior with wanted behavior, which is basically a dog who's calm and relaxed. Okay, so that would be my suggestion. So boredom, again, is the reason why some dogs behave something like that. Kathy Fong Roberts. Yes, hi Kathy. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you. You're live in the chat area. Tashi says hi. I know Tashi. Kathy is one of my clients, and Tashi, I know Tashi. She's doing really well and has progressed a lot with her obedience. She's getting tons of exercise. Tell your viewers she's totally not good. She's totally not good. Obsessed. Play and praise are. Tell your viewers she's. Oh, food obsessed. I think you mean food obsessed. Yes. Tell your viewers she's totally not food obsessed. Play and praise are the key. Great to hear that. Yes, so you see, play and praise can replace food and treats. Now, there was a new study that had been done. Let me see if I can pull that off. Where did I put it? Put it somewhere. There was a study. I will put it later on in the description area. There was a study done by Dr. Gregory Berg. He did a MRI scanning of dogs' brain to see whether they prefer food or just praise. Do dogs love us because we are giving them food or just because they love us, right? So he wanted to experiment this and figure out if what was the case. And he tried a few dogs, scanned their brains, trained them to go in the MRI machine and then scan their brain activities during the scanning, and figured out that when they were offering food, the dog was kind of excited, kind of okay to give food. But when they were bringing toys or they were saying good boy or good girl, the brain scan was out of charts. The activity on the brain was out of charts. It was more active, way more active than when they were presented with food. So this scientifically proves that dogs are more motivated by our play and praise reward than food. Food and treats are not motivators. They are, I posted a video a few weeks ago, are marketing scam from food companies. Food companies, they see that there's an opportunity to sell these products, so-called treats. Treats are just food cut in bite pieces. It's food. And they have pushed this idea that if you want to train your dog, you need to use treats. And it's a scam, and it's very sad to see people fall into this scam. And you have no idea. I talk about this in my Facebook groups and various groups and places. And some people, some dog owners, they're saying also they get mad that I say don't use treats because they think I'm saying deprive your dog from food and treats. That doesn't mean that you're taking away food from your dog. That means you're not using treats to implement new behaviors or teach or train your dog. That means you're still giving food to your dog, the needed amount of food, but you're not depending on treats to get results. And that's the problem in this day and age, that we are dependent on treats or food to train our dogs and get results. And unfortunately, food companies are winning this battle. And Kathy, thank you for being here and sharing your feedback and experience, actually. Play and praise are the key. Thank you. Vicky Gill says hello. Hello. Thank you for being here. Little Herrings. She doesn't go to the toilet in her bed. I just wake her to take her just in case, but she always does a wee when I take her out. That's good that she does it and she doesn't do it in the bed. But if she has to go, I think if you wake a puppy up and take them out, they will do it anyways. Everybody, even in the middle of the night, even if I really not desperate to go and I get up, I will go. Right? It's just that it's there, and there's an opportunity, I'll go. But if you see that is not desperate, then I wouldn't bother waking up in the middle of the night. It's all up to you. If you see that there's an accident in the middle of the night or in her bed, then that's a sign that, well, you missed it. You should have taken it out. But if there's no need, I wouldn't. She is in crate in your bedroom. Very good. That's great. Sandy is saying hi. Thank you for being here, Sandy. Teresa is asking, not only do humans use treats to replace having to learn otherwise to train the puppy, they are also putting a needed I needed weight on the pet as well, if I understand correctly.
I didn't understand.
I didn't understand. Replace having to learn otherwise to train the puppy. They are also putting it. I don't understand exactly what you mean, Teresa. Um,
The second part.
the second part of your comment, yes, humans use trees to replace having um, to learn, otherwise to train. Yes, so I think I have an idea what you mean in a way, but let me share this thought too. Um, so when a dog trainer, so-called dog trainer, tells you that this is what you're going to need to start training your dog, you're going to need a good stinky treat or food to train your dog, um, treat pouch, a couple of brands or types of treats. I would say, run away. That person, that dog trainer, you know, I always say if a dog trainer has to use treats to train your dog, then what's the point of a trainer training a dog? Because if they are doing the same thing that you need to do and they're training and teaching you to use treats, then that means they don't know how to train dogs. If they are dependent on treats and they have to teach you to be dependent on treats as well, then blind is leading a blind, right? It's not that I'm saying, treats are horrible, evil. I'm saying is you don't need to depend on treats. When you depend on treats or whenever you depend on anything, you're depending on things to get results. That way, you're not going to get results because you're not looking at the big picture. Training a dog is not to give them treats in order to do something that you want. Training a dog is investing time with your dog, being present with your dog, being involved with your dog, having interaction with your dog. That's what training means. If you spend literally 15 minutes, half an hour a day, literally be with your dog, turn off your phone, turn off your computer, turn off your TV, shut down everything that bothers you, and focus on your dog. Not many dog owners do this. They don't spend quality time with their dogs. As soon as we talk about training, what they think is, I gotta get treats or food and get started on training my dog. As soon as you think that way, you're already disconnected from your dog because you are thinking, if I give this, my dog is going to do that. But if you think about it, a dog has been bred and designed and made for humans. That means they are bred and designed to do and live with humans, not because we train them with treats, because they need that interactions with us. Humans are social animals. Dogs are social animals too. So we match. If we just spend time with our dogs and quality times without depending on things and just hanging out. When was the last time you just hung out with your dog? I'm not talking about taking your dog for a walk or a jog. Just hang out with your dog. Just play with your dog honestly, right? Like turn off all the thoughts in your head about um, the mortgage and about what I need to eat for dinner. Turn off all those things and just focus on your dog for half an hour a day. If you do that, not only you're going to get results, you're going to get better results, more um, more effective results than using treats. Because if you use treats, you're going to be dependent on those, and you're going to see, if I give this, my dog is going to do it. But what happens when you don't have treats? What happens if you run out of treats? What happens if you have to fade out treats from your training? So one of the main things from trainers that you hear is you have to start training your dog using treats and then fade it out. If we have to fade it out, why are we starting with treats anyways? Right? I used to do agility runs with my Beagle Jonah, and we used to go to trials, and the trials that we had to run, the course, agility course, we had to run naked. They call it naked. Naked means the dog is not wearing any collars. You're not supposed to have any treats in your hand. You're not supposed to have any toys in your hand or pocket or anywhere. And the dog has to be naked and run the course naked. So if that's what we want to get, that's the results that we want to get, then why don't we train them naked too? So this is why I call my online training course Naked Dog Training, because you're not using anything. You're not depending on anything to use to train your dog. You're using yourself. You're not using gadgets. You're not using anything. You're using yourself, learning how to connect with your dog. And that's the most important part of training a dog, connection to your dog. So yes, that brought me to that little chat. Sandy Ortiz: I have trained my 3 small dogs without treats. Tell them good boy or good girl, and it works. There you go. That's all your dog needs. Your dog just needs the certification or the approval of you saying good boy, good girl. That is the best thing that you can give to a dog. You give to a dog food or treats, gone in a second, boom, nothing happens. You tell a dog, good boy or good girl, watch that tail wagging for a few minutes continuously. It won't stop just because you told them good boy or good girl. When you praise a dog, is the best reward for a dog. That's the best thing a puppy can or dog can get from you. But we don't do that often. We don't give that honest feedback to our dogs. We just say, good boy, good girl. Say it and mean it. It has to come from your deep in your heart. Sandy is saying puppy chihuahuas. She's awesome. Very good. Danielle, unnecessary weight gain using treats. That's another side effect. Exactly. Thank you for sharing that as well. It causes a lot of health issues to develop in your dog. Dogs and animals, and in general, also humans, right? We're not supposed to eat constantly. We're supposed to eat whenever we're hungry, especially dogs who are animals, natural animals. They are not supposed to be fed all the time. They're not supposed to be eating all the time. The reason we feed them, because as a human being, we've been trained and told that we have to have breakfast, lunch, dinner. So therefore, we do the same thing with our dogs. Our dogs, they don't need to eat 3, 4 times, 5 times a day. They just need once or twice. And in between, when you're training your dog, you're feeding your dog, right? So therefore, what happens is it spikes their insulin level, which is unnecessary and causes a lot of other health issues to develop in your dog, and that therefore they become, obese, and also develop health issues, and also, especially, the treats that you're using are unhealthy. Most dog owners buy treat bags and treats from these food companies who that has a lot of it's lots of preservatives, and it has chemicals in them. It has a lot of crap and things in it that It's not healthy for dogs, especially if you keep feeding them that kind of crap as well.
Even though they say natural.
Even though the bag or the food bag or the treat bag says natural, natural is another um, trick word that food companies use. Natural means tons of chemicals has been added to this
Doesn't mean
product. It doesn't mean that it's natural. Natural is a fake wording that food companies use to trick you. Um, I need wait, what? I don't understand what it means. Canav. Hi, Sarah. My beagle bites my hand. Huh?
Canab.
Canav. Hi, Sarah. My beagle bites my hand. Can you suggest me what to do? Yes. So the reason your beagle bites is because it's bored. So provide more mental and physical stimulation. Start training it too, so you're providing a lot more mental stimulation as well. And that causes, if you don't do this too, it causes stress in your dog, in your beagle, which causes you start biting. So biting, it has two reasons, two few reasons why that happens. One is because it's a bite, puppies bite. It's a bite inhibition. They're learning how to bite, so they are practicing on you. Two is because they're bored. They don't have any activities to do, so they start biting you and other stuff. Three is because they're stressed. And four, because they're teething. Their gum is itchy, is sensitive, so they need to release this uh, sensation by biting and chewing. So once you know these, you need to provide more physical and mental stimulation for your puppy so it doesn't focus on this area, start doing focusing on other stuff like activities and mental activities that it needs to focus on rather than this, right? Rather than this area. Does it make sense? Sandy is saying you are so right. Great, thank you. And that's a great feedback. Emma saying my dog wants treats all the time when I ask hi. So your dog has trained you to give it treats. So it's the opposite. The human has to train the dog, not the dog train the human. Dogs have been bred to listen and obey humans. Whether you want it or not, whether if it's sad reality or good reality, dogs have been bred to obey humans. That's why we breed them. Otherwise, we wouldn't breed them. If they were causing headache and they were not listening to us and they were causing nightmares in our lives, we wouldn't breed dogs. The reason we breed them is because they listen to us, they obey us, and we need to constantly tell them what to do, not the other way. If you allow a dog to rule, they will train you to do exactly what they want them to do, and you will have a nightmare in your hand. So you want to do the opposite. You want to be telling your dog what to do. You want to make your dog to do what you want it to do. Not force it, but allow it to learn from you what to do. A human has to tell the dog what to do. If they don't, the dog will get stressed. Dogs are not bred to not to obey another dog. Dogs have been bred to obey humans, and human it has the responsibility and the has to have this ability to tell the dog what to do. If you don't, you're not doing a favor to your dog. You're causing more stress if your dog is not being told what to do. Not in a aggressive way, not in a way dictatorship, but in a more loving, more firm, clear format, which I teach and show in my channel how to do it. Use play, praise, and affection to train your dog, to teach your dog. If you do anything else, if you use anything else, uh, tools, aversive tools, if you use treats, food, aggression, domination, being alpha, if you use those stuff, you're representing a human and dog owner who's not educated, who doesn't know what to do. If you want somebody to learn something, you need to know what you're supposed to do yourself. If you want to teach somebody to drive, you need to know how to drive yourself. So you have to do what you need to do and learn and teach that to your dog. If you're aggressive, if you're using domination, if you're using treats to train your dog, that means you don't know what you're doing. That's the sad truth. Unnecessary calories causing obesity. Exactly. Thank you very much, Teresa. That's another side effect of using treats to train your dog. Sorry, guys, I have a seasonal allergy, and today is really bad. Now, also, my beagle starts sniffing in the house and then makes sounds just to amuse himself. What should I do for that? Kanav, you have a beagle who's bored and is untrained and it's anxious and stressed. Focus on this is why you have these problems. Okay, so focus on providing this exercise daily, exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection daily and in this order. You have to get up in the morning, provide exercise for your beagle, training at least 15 minutes to half an hour a day, provide socialization, provide care, and then share affection. If you do this, if you follow this formula, you will get better results. Where was I? Hold on, I lost where I was.
Did you answer Emma Sparks?
Emma Sparks. Yes, I did.
So after that, then Teresa
I
McArthur
did that
Not.
too. Come on. Yeah, okay. Emma Sparks. My dog wants treats all the time when I ask him to do anything. Yes, I just answered that.
Teresa,
So
my apology.
I needed to type only this dictating in UGG. Yes, I see what you mean. Sandy Ortiz, I'm the pack leader of my home. Great. I like that you are the pack leader, but I don't like, in a way, the term pack leader because we are not packs. Humans, we're not packs, we're families, right? And dogs are family members. I kind of don't like using pack leader. Cesar Millan brought this term. He meant well, he means well, he's a good man, he's a good dog trainer, he's a good person. I like him. I respect him. But few things that he said and did, didn't make sense and were not the right things. He changed. I don't know if you know this, but I think he came to the media in 2006. He was big. It's huge, and he hit all the all the all over the world, and everybody knew who Cesar Millan Dog Whisperer was. But he brought some terms and some ideas that he was blamed for later on, that he wasn't, it didn't do well with the public, like poking the dog, and being a little bit, for example, choking and using force to get the dog to behave. All these things caused negative effects on his personality. So he changed. Recently, he has changed. He's using actually treats. believe it or not, he's starting to use treats because just to tell the public that I'm not that person anymore, he uses treats. So he went from one extreme to another extreme. And he came up with this term pack leader because he learned this term from wolves. Wolves are actually a pack leader. Yes, they are pack leader. They are pack leaders and there are packs in the wolves, but they are very family oriented animals as well, just like humans. We care about our babies and they care about their puppies. But pack leader, what it does when you use this term, it makes you get separated from the reality. So I want you to think of it this way. You're a human and we live as a family and we have added a family member to our family and we deal with them as a family member. So you are a parent. You are a dog parent, dog dad, dog mom. I like to use those terms better. They are better, more um, gentler. It doesn't separate you from the dog. So it's great that you are a pack leader. My puppy is in my living room. Tell her go potty. She room to the pee pad, and I have it in my bathroom. LOL. Great. You tell her to go pee pee and poo poo, and she does it in the pee pad. Um, I would suggest to differentiate pee pad with actual potty training. Pee pad should be the last option for the dog, just in case of emergency. You want to make sure that your puppy or your dog does its business outside of the house. Dogs are clean animals. They don't want to do their business inside of the house where they eat, sleep, and live. They want to do it somewhere else. That's why you will see certain dogs they would do outside of their house, or some of dogs are going to they go really far from the house and do it somewhere else. The pee pad is just in case if you slept in or it's raining and pouring outside and there's no or it's you're staying at home because of the COVID-19 and you can't go out, then you use pee pads. Pee pads are not a good form of allowing the dog to do its business. Thank you for the comment. Elizabeth Corso, have you ever heard of a pocket beagle? I actually put a down payment on one, but got nervous of buying. However, they are the most adorable dogs ever for anyone looking for a beagle. Yes, I've heard of pocket beagles. Um, Beagles usually come in two sizes, 13-inch and 15-inch, which is their shoulder size, shoulder height. Smaller than 13-inch is considered pocket beagle. Um, the problem with these types of breeds, the pocket ones, is that they're genetically manipulated and it causes other health issues to develop in them, which is not good, which is not healthy. I wouldn't suggest to promote that kind of breeding. So I would veer off from getting a pocket beagle or any pocket breed that you want to get. I would suggest to go and get a dog from a breeder that is licensed, certified, and is breeding properly and proper trades of that breed instead of just for marketing. Unfortunately, that's my opinion. Ravnit, my dog sleeps less and makes sounds at night. Probably is dreaming at night. That's what it's making sound. Dogs tend to dream. Uh, they either have nightmares or good dreams. Um, but if it's sleeping less, that means it needs a little bit more mental and physical stimulation. So you want to provide a lot more physical, mental stimulation so it has an opportunity to sleep more. Dogs naturally, they like to sleep. Um, Not sleep, but they like to nap all the time. So I would suggest to, provide more mental physical stimulation so it has more opportunity to rest and relax. Dixie is in the house. Thank you for being here. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying this live show and Q&A, give it a thumbs up to the video so the algorithm of YouTube appreciates it, and it makes my channel to grow faster and help more people to become educated dog lovers. So make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and hit the bell icon so you will get notified as soon as I post next video or go live. Dixie is saying, I have an 8-year-old pug rescue. I have had him for almost 3 years and he's wonderful. He was used for a stud and wasn't neutered until he was 5 years old, right before I got him. Neutering, this is neutering topic, but neutering is something that I highly don't recommend unless you have to neutering or spaying a dog, unless it becomes a behavioral problem. But health-wise, it's good to not neuter and spay a dog. Um, and since it's being used as a stud, unfortunately, that's one of the problems of breeding dogs that it bothers me, that most breeders, they don't use a dog for too often. They use once maybe or twice. Good breeders, they don't use them often, and it's sad that in this day and age we're still doing that. Knav is saying, thanks a lot for your valuable feedback. We'll try those things out. Yes, definitely. If you need more ideas, I have a link in the chat area that it's called stimulation. Watch that video too. It gives you some ideas of what kind of stimulation you can provide for your Beagle. Ravnit, my dog doesn't sleep at night. Makes sense. I think I did explain that. Mohit Kumar, my Leo Beagle, 2 years old, or Leo. I started his training with cheese in his early days. After seeing your videos in which you don't advise any treats, how to get over this treat phenomenon? Very good question. You see, there are three main sources of reward for a dog. Okay, three main sources: play, praise, food. Food is the last thing that you should use, or I don't suggest to use as a reward. Play and praise are the first things that you want to use as rewarding your dog. The reason for that is because play and praise are more natural sources and forms of rewarding a dog. Food or cheese that you're using is, as we just talked about, it is not healthy to use, and it's not only physically and health-wise it's not healthy, emotionally, mentally, and behaviorally it's not healthy to use treats as well, just both for you and your dog. So for the next week or two, I want you to think of it this way: erase using cheese in your mind, in your head. Don't think that you need to use cheese or food to train your dog. Erase the mindset of, I need to go get the cheese first. Second, don't say, okay, this is not going to work because my dog, my Beagle, is going to need cheese in order to do this. Remove that negative feedback in your mind, in your head, and don't bring it up. Don't think about negative result. Don't think about what is not going to happen. Think about what is going to happen. Picture what you want to happen in your mind. Bring that positive picture and imagine that. Don't think about what if this, what if, what that. Not Don't think about negative stuff. Be positive, be confident, and just use play and praise. Use your dog's favorite toy. Turn off all your thoughts about your work, your daily life routine, and all the negative things that is happening in the world and in your life. Remove them and focus just directly on your dog and your beagle, and bring your dog's favorite toy or favorite game that you needs to play, and focus on investing time and being focused on your dog, like from literally from inside. Be one with your dog, right? Be connected to the moment. Be in the moment. Don't say this and that, I need this and that. You need to be focused on your dog, and you will see great results. Within a day or two or three, you'll see your dog's demeanor and approach is going to change to your beagle is going to say, wow, you're a new man. You're approaching me like you should have all this time. 2 years, all these 2 years, you should have behaved and treated me like this, but you're not. You were not. Now you're doing the right thing. So focus on that and approach it that way. Also, is it right to scold or scare him if he disobeys? No. If you use any of those negative approaches, you'll get negative results. You don't want to be a person who provides negative energy to your dog. You want to be a person who provides fair, positive source and information to your dog. If you use negative energy and negative forms of um, approaching your and training your dog, you're going to get negative results both in short terms and long terms. Watch my videos, go and explore my channel, and watch my videos and learn how to become a positive dog owner, a positive person, a positive dog lover. Sandy, thank you for the info. You are very welcome. Ravneet is saying my dog eats less dog food. Compared to what? If you're feeding your dog kibble or dry food and the bag is saying you need to feed this much, uh, that's not a healthy and right way of measuring how much your dog should eat. Your dog should eat as much as it wants, as much as it needs to. If it's eating too much, that means it doesn't need to eat that much. So one of the things that you can measure naturally and visibly is if you're feeding your dog this much and your dog poops this much, that means it's eating too much. So that's one of the measures that you can do. If your dog is eating this much and is pooping this much, that means it's eating too much. So figure that out. Ravneet, my beagle Bruno is 6 months old and is underweight and eats lesser than usual nowadays. Any advice for this? What you want to do, you may want to add some fresh food to your beagle's diet, like fresh meat, preferably in raw format rather than cooked. But you can still add some fresh food, some fresh vegetables, maybe add some vitamin E, um, maybe some turmeric, some ginger, add to that food as well. It will help with the weight loss. You want to give good fresh food and clean food for the dog's body to take advantage of gaining that benefit from the food. Yoko, volume is high. Um, Teresa, please expound on having a dog spayed. I have read and been told it is best for health and longevity of dog. Actually, the new studies have discovered that spaying and neutering dogs is actually not a healthy option. The reason for that is because uh, dogs, they need those organs to fight off bacterias and all the health issues that they may become dealing with. Those are live organs that an animal needs it. You can't remove those organs and expect the dog to not only not feel normal and healthy and proper, but also not develop health issues as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share with you a video that I have talked about this topic. I'm going to call it spay and, and neuter. Go ahead and please watch this video. I talk about it more and explain more. It's in the chat area. Okay. Dixie, even though I take my pug out often, he will still lift his leg in the house. I have caged him when I have left the house. He will pee in the cage. I can't take him everywhere because of this habit. Even though I take my pug often, he still lifts his leg in the house. I have caged him when I left. He will pee in the cage. I think I know why that happens. Is there's there's something is bothering your dog, your pug. Something is stressing your pug. I'm going to share with you a video in the chat area. It's called "Why My Dog Pees in the House." Okay, let me quickly share it. I explain it a little bit more, but basically what it is, it's a stress related. Your pug is stressed. Something is bothering it, so therefore it's communicating to you as telling you that it's stressed. So therefore is leaving you a message to tell you how it's feeling. And I explain it more in the video actually. Mohit, thank you. You are very welcome. Elizabeth Cursor, what's the difference between pocket beagle breeding and all those other designer dogs like Golden Doodle, Morkie, Cockapoo, etc.? Do you disapprove all of these also? Just curious, my poodle is pure poodle. When we mix, purebreds are prone to have some problems, health problems, and mixed breeds, they tend to be much more healthier than purebreds. But there are certain breeds that I don't suggest mixing, like for example, Puggle breed, mix of Pug and Beagle. It's two different breeds that they don't really coincide with each other. A Beagle, for instance, is designed to smell things, so it needs a good nose to sniff things, whereas a pug has a short muzzle and it doesn't have the ability physically to sniff. So they have a hard time breeding puggles. They have a hard time breeding, first of all, and they can't sniff. So when it comes to those kinds of breeds, yes, I disagree to mix them up. Puggles were very popular a few years ago, and there's still breeding them. So, for example, that breed, I don't agree. Golden Doodles are okay. They're most popular breed so far, thus far. That's fine in a way because you have a water dog with water dog mix, a dog who's intelligent, poodle, with a dog who's capable of doing physical activities like golden retrievers. So that works in a way. But there are certain breeds, yes, that I don't suggest. That's a good topic, actually. I should talk about that in one of my upcoming videos. Thank you for the suggestion. Mohit, should he be tired tied to leash or kept open all the time. I suggest to, when you have your Beagle off leash in the house, to be monitored and supervised. If you can't supervise it physically, I suggest you to either keep it in the crate or in an expand area, or attached to a leash and with you. That's my opinion, and it works as long as you do the training as well. Training a Beagle is difficult because he's very dominating. Any lead on that is not that. Beagles are actually one of the easiest breeds to train. I have been working. I have had Beagles myself and trained them and find them very easily trained because they are very fun dogs, very fun breed. They want to please humans, so it's easy to train them. If you have difficulty training your Beagle, I suggest you to watch the following playlist. We're going to finish in a moment. So watch the following videos. I show you how to train Beagles. Also, what are the positive ways to train? So yes, all of your questions will be answered in the video series that I have in the chat area. You can get all the answers in that video series. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in the comments area of the videos. I read them all and answer them all. All right. That's the end of today's show. I had a fun time answering your questions. We'll do this again. Probably every week on Fridays, we'll come here at 9 a.m. I think it's a good time to come here on Fridays. Come again? And we'll see how it goes. So I'll let you know. And if there's any other questions left that I didn't answer, please ask those questions in the comments area, and I will answer them. And make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button as well. And I'll see you next time, which is Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you very much. Have fun with your dog.